Okay, so this video is just to run through what the materials actually look like, because you're going to have this pretty intense kit, and this list shows the things that are going to be used throughout the course of this class. So to start off with, there are two main sections. We've got the consumed materials and the rented materials. The consumed materials are ones that I'm assuming you're going to use all of them or most of them throughout the course of this class. If there's any of these that are left over when our course is done, I'll have you return it back to the school along with your rented materials. So at the top, you can see that it's labeled Consumed Materials, and then you've got this bold bead set AB, and it says Circle, and then it's got this cost, $12.15. So this is what I'm roughly averaging the cost out to be as the total of all of the consumed materials. And then this bead set AB, when you get the digital copy of this, you're going to open it in Notability and you're going to circle A or B, so I know which set to put in your kit. So without further ado, I'm going to run down this list and show you what everything is inside your bead kit. So to start off with, this is both the packet of paper materials and the box itself. So opening up the the folder of paper materials, you've got 5 sheets of assorted scrapbooking paper. So I apologize if you don't like what you end up with. It's all random. Everybody has different ones in different colors and different patterns. If it so happens that you have a friend in this class and you've been visiting them, you're welcome to share and trade. But for starters, you just have this random paper. Also in there, you've got something that's not on your list. It's a random art magazine. We'll use these over the course of a couple projects. It's not listed as one of the materials, but it is in there. So the next thing on your list is 2 1-inch felt squares, and those are going to be little white pieces. So in here, I'm digging around, you've got 2 of these little felt squares. And then you've also got 2 of these little 1-inch backing squares. So you can see the difference. The felt is stiff and white, and the backing is soft and tan. But then you'll also have a 2-inch felt square and a 2-inch backing square. So again, the felt is stiff, the backing is soft. Next up is the list of findings, and those are all going to be in one little bag. So this baggie here has your 2 sets of earring findings, 4 sets of clasps, 5 screw eyes, and 16 jump rings. This should be enough to get you through the class, but if you end up needing to get more, you'll know what you need to find and provide. Next up, we have our bead sets. And you'll notice in here I have listed again the set A or set B. So A is the opaque colors. Now my light makes everything look a little bit more neon, so this is actually a really like pumpkin orange, even though it looks kind of pinky red. And this is really kind of a cinnamon red, not as much of a like blood red as it shows up here. But you get 8 colors: black, white, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Now this blue here is just like a dark kind of navy blue, and it's taking the place of purple. Again, set A is opaque. Now, set B is the rainbow colors. And these ones are slightly translucent, so you can kind of see through them, but then they also have this kind of rainbow sheen. And again, you'll get black, white, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then technically another dark blue, but it takes the place of purple. The reason why you have to choose between set A and set B is because I have a limited supply of each. I have 20 sets of A and 20 sets of B, and there's 32 people in this class. So if the first 20 people say they want set B, the first 20 people are going to get set B. But if I have 21 people or 25 people, I can't necessarily guarantee that just because of the limited nature of these supplies. So when you're going through and watching this and you're saying, I definitely want to make sure I get set B, or I definitely want to make sure I get set A, make sure that you mark that before you turn in your materials agreement. Now, continuing down, we also have a bag of polymer clay, and these are going to look like candy. They straight up look like little mini Starburst. Please don't eat them. Don't let your siblings eat them. Don't let your pets eat them. It's not good for you. And you want to be able to use these. This is probably way more than we'll end up using in this class, but I figured it was better to have a little bit too much rather than not enough. All right, I'm going to pull these off to the side because now we're starting to get into other things. The next thing on the list is the sketchbook, and that's going to be in the folder. I think all of the sets will end up with this little puppy design on here. It's super cute, right? Sorry if you don't like dogs, but it's what I got. You're going to get 3 yards of thread for stringing, and it's just going to be on this little cardboard bobbin. And this is going to be used in our earlier units, so with the polymer clay and with the paper beads. If you end up needing more, you can use floss, you can use fishing line, you can use basically anything you have at home, but I'm just making sure you have a little bit to start with. Again, back into the folder, we've got our templates for paper beads. It's going to be on a thicker cardstock, just so you know what it is. And then you're also going to get a few toothpicks. It says toothpicks or skewers because at the time when I wrote this, I wasn't sure what I would be able to get, and I was able to get toothpicks. You're welcome to use your own at home if you have them or need them. I'm just providing a few to make sure that everybody's got exactly what they're going to need. And then the last thing in the consumed section is a few sheets of graph paper. If you have your own, you're welcome to use it. These ones are just really small squares, and they're going to come in handy during our bead weaving unit. All right, so that's everything from the consumed materials. This is going to bring us over to our rented materials section, and these are ones where you're going to use just a little bit of it, or it's something that can be completely reused multiple different times. So the first thing is just some little bit of clear nail polish. This is going to be used with our paper beads and with our polymer clay beads as a sealant and as a glossy medium to make it look shiny and pretty. You're also going to get a spool of Nymo thread. So this one looks a little bit different here than what yours are going to look like, just because I don't have yours just yet. I'm waiting for them to come in the mail, but this is more or less what it's going to look like. Next up is a beading loom. This is another one where it's going to look a little bit different for different people just because of the numbers that we have available. This class is originally supposed to be taught with like people doing different things at the same time, but you'll notice that each one is going to have a number, and that number is going to match on all of the rented supplies. So if your supply has a number on it, you know that you need to return it. So this is a beading loom, right? There's going to be 2 different styles, but they're all going to be numbered. The storage container itself is going to have a number on the lid and on the box. This is where you can keep everything and what you'll turn in at the end of the class. You're also going to get some beading needles that are reusable, and I am trying to not stab myself because they are just on a little piece of plastic. So when you're digging through your container, make sure that you don't stab yourself. It's not pleasant. Up next is you're going to get a pack of colored pencils and a sharpener. Okay, so colored pencils, you can see I'm going to number them down here in the corner. Sharpener, numbered. Okay. You're also going to get a jewelry pliers. So there's going to be a couple different styles of pliers that come in these. So some of you might get bent nose pliers like this. Some of you might get a different kind of pliers, but again, they're going to be numbered so you know what set they go to. And you'll also get a scissor, okay? When I originally typed these, I did not have the scissors on there, so the paper copy of this list that's going to be in your bin is going to have some handwritten pieces, and that's what that's about. When you see the digital copy, it'll show up the right way. So next up, we have a tube of E6000 adhesive. This stuff, make sure that you always, always, always cap it super tight because it dries out and it's fairly expensive. Like this tube right here is $1. Okay, we'll use it a lot. It's something that's reusable. That's why it's in the rented materials. But just make sure that you don't puncture it and make sure that you keep the cap on it because it's kind of toxic. Glue stick. I wanted to make sure that everybody had a glue stick. It's especially important in the first unit with the paper beads. All of your paper pieces are going to be in a manila folder. And then you'll also get this small plastic rolling pin. It's basically just a straw that's really nice and thick. We'll use it with the polymer clay. Now, you'll notice that there's a ruler in here, and there is not a ruler on your list. Please keep the ruler with it. I realize I don't have it listed as being a material, but that is in there for a reason, and I would like to keep reusing these. So, without further ado, just remember, circle your bead set A for opaque, B for rainbow, sign it, have your parents sign it, turn it back in. All right, have a good day.